12 verse 10. Never trust in thy enemy.
Never trust thine enemy, which is the so-called white man. Never trust him. Well,
For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
yeah, that's like how iron rusted. So is the so-called white man wickedness. Yeah, go ahead.
True he humble himself.
Though
Though he humble himself,
though the so-called white man humble himself, like we see with that so-called George Floyd business. You see all of them play their arm, they're going down on their knees, but I can't breathe. Yeah, the so-called white man. Don't be fooled by that action. Well,
and go crouching.
yeah,
Take good heed.
yeah, take good heed of that so-called, take good heed of that snake. Go ahead.
And beware of him.
And beware of him. Go ahead.
And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wife in looking glass.
Yeah.
And thou shalt know that his lust had not been altogether wiped away.
Can. Right? So though you might know, though sometimes you might feel like the temptation. At least you're gonna know, well, alright, them, they don't like you. Right? You know for a fact the KKK don't like you. Right? But what about the ones you don't know? Who are that deep hatred for you, but you don't know, and they're pretending they like you? Go ahead. Hey. Go ahead.
Set him not, seek him not by thee, lest when he had overthrown thee, he set up in thy place, neither let him set at thy right hand.
Yeah. Right? Don't even have the so-called white man next to you. Because you go try to take your place, and a matter of fact, that what went on at us.
Lest he seek
to take thy place.
Thy seat.
Yeah. Because that what went on at us. After our forefather John I. Cranus conquer them and force them to learn our heritage, force them to follow our heritage, what ended up going on is because they ended up conquering me and started to call themselves Jews. They ended up conquering we, put we on slave ships and scatter we through the four corners of the earth, and them started to call themselves us. Them take our nationality. Right? They strip you of your nationality, beat you, and anything. All they feel all them licks was just for you to plant cotton, and for you to plant coffee and sugar cane and all them things. All they feel all them licks was for that? No. All them licks that our ancestors was getting was for us to forget who we are.
That's right.
All them licks was because all they must not remember who all is. When you watch the movie Kunta Kinte, when you see the way the so-called white man was beating him for, there's not we name what we tell him Toby, yeah.
No, they say it's Toby, his name is Kunta.
Yeah, his name is Kunta, but the white man beating him for him to go by the name Toby. There's a reason for it. The licks, the brutality was for a reason. Yeah, you can't even beat the language into you. Because when we came across here, what language was we speaking? Hebrew. We wasn't speaking English and French and Spanish and Dutch and Portuguese. It was Hebrew we were speaking, and Paleo Hebrew at that. But what they do, they make sure and beat it out of you. Beat out your heritage, so now, or what we end up breaking down to now? We end up breaking down to gunman and she-hole, and a set of thugs, and pimps, and whores, sluts.
Because we reduce to nothing.
And the thing about it is, somebody give me Judith 5. Anybody, Judith 5. Somebody, Judith 5 and Judith 5 and it will start from 19.
In the book of Judith, chapter 5, starting from verse 19, it says, but now are they returned to their power, to their God.
Yeah, right? Because through the four corners of the earth, this truth is preaching. Right? And as when you are a remnant, return back to Yahweh, show me how to shine. Right, go ahead.
And I come up from the places where they were scattered.
Yeah. And I come up from the places where we were scattered. Scattered to Haiti. Scattered to Barbados. Yeah? Scattered to America. To this day we still have our people who've been scattered over in Yemen and Saudi Arabia and Iraq and Iran, Afghanistan, India. Go ahead.
And I've possessed Jerusalem.
Yeah, and we're going to possess Jerusalem, our land. Jerusalem to the south and Samaria to the north. Our brothers and sisters who coming down here and laboring like if there's dogs, which is those so-called Venezuelans and Colombians and Cubans and whatnot, but really and truly they are the northern kingdom of Israel. They are going to get back their land, Samaria, which they were driven from through the Assyrian captivity. Continue.
Where their sanctuary is.
Right, that is our sanctuary, mainly Jerusalem. Go ahead.
And are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate.
Right, go ahead.
For my Lord and Governor,
Go ahead.
if there be any error in this people,
This is our Japanese. I was a sister before. This is our Japanese. He giving his account concerning us, right? Because all these nations, they always make accounts of us, right? So they know how to conquer us and when not to come up against us. So read that little part again.
if there be any error in this people,
So the so-called Japanese, you know for a fact, if there be any error, any sin, any iniquity within the nation of Israel, go ahead.
and they sin against their God,
And they said, and notice he personalized it. He didn't say, and they sin against the God of the world, or sin against God. He said, and if they sin against dear God,
Their
power, go ahead.
let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
Yeah, now we call anytime these niggas want to go into homosexuality and bestiality and gunman in Sheol, and they eating shrimp and they eating pork and they celebrating Christmas and celebrating Easter and winding down low in Port of Spain and Parima and Grandy and whatnot for the stinking carnival. Go ahead.
Let this be their ruin.
Let this be the ruin, because why? They know that those things is not of our God. Go ahead.
And let us go up and overcome them.
Yeah, and let me go and overcome them, because why? They're sinning. Because their God, he hates sin. What is sin? Transgression of the law. Transgression of the law, which is the first 5 books of Moses. We're not supposed to eat shrimp. We're not supposed to eat pork. We're not supposed to eat crab, lobster, duck, shark, maliku, guana, kuti.
These niggas love the shark and bait.
Women are supposed to wear pants. A man is supposed to wear a blasted dress. That's why the Mosai is going to put that kunas nigga. We name is Madia. We real name is Tyler Perry. The Mosai is going to put that coon nigga to death.
Thus says the Lord.
And all them actors on them. And this next one, Martin, with Big Mama's house. Yeah, well, they go by. Continue up.
But if there be no iniquity in their nation,
But this is close to what the Japanese saying. But if there be no sin in their nation, go ahead.
Let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them.
Yeah, he say, hey, better you leave them alone. Anytime there's no sin against amongst these people, it's better you leave these people alone. Leave them alone. Go ahead.
And their God be for them.
And their God be for them. Go ahead.
And we become
laughing
all the world.
before the whole world. That is why the so-called white man and all these other nations, there's going to be a laughing stock. Because the Messiah is going to deal with them and deal with them proper. Because a remnant have come back to him. While the rest, yeah, the Messiah is going to let these nations deal with them. Till he can careless.
I'm a preacher for Japanese. No. When I go back, when I go up to the scripture, it's a Japanese and Ammonite.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Nigga.
This is Jeremiah 46. Let me make sure. And 10.
Go ahead.
For this is the day of the Lord power of hosts, a day of vengeance.
The day of what?
A day of vengeance, that he may avenge him of his adversaries. And the sword shall devour, and it shall be salted and made drunk with the blood, with their blood. For Yahweh, power of hosts, had a sacrifice in the north country. And that sacrifice in the north country goes back to North America.
Gone. Gone.
See all that thing staying up in North America? The Lord say I have a sacrifice in North America. And it's going to be a sacrifice by blood.
No sign of play.
That's why America is where it is today. It's staying up. Who's doing it? The Lord's staying up. Somebody, before they read that, somebody give me Genesis 49 and start with Judah, verse 7. Break it up now. Bring out the scripture, if I have a scripture, but Genesis 49. Alright, no problem. Yeah, that north country is America. The Bible is shadows and time. So you never know America is in the Bible. America is in the... All these things is prophecy. You all are the children of Israel. Read.
From what verse? From what?
No, start with Judah.
Genesis 49 and 8.
Yeah.
Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
What?
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
What?
Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion.
So Judah stooped down and couched as a lion. Did you say back in the 60s and that you had the civil rights movement?
Yeah.
You understand? And the Black Panther movement and all of that. But then that came and died off. So the Bible says he crouches or he lied down like an old lion. Read.
And as an old lion, who shall rouse him up?
So who's rousing Judah now? Yahweh Shai. The Lord is Mustang. That's how America is. You understand? With the George Floyd thing and even and more getting killed. That's how you all feel it a little bit. The Lord is rousing Judah. Judah is the so-called Negroes, the American Negroes to begin with. Read.
Verse 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah.
The scepter represents the rulership, but it also represents the gospel, which is a righteous scepter, not so?
Gone. That's right.
Read.
Nor a lawgiver from between his feet.
So the lawgiver between his feet represents Christ. Will not be removed from because the Lord shall save the tenth of Judah first. So they will come with the gospel to save what the rest are tribes. Read.
Until Shiloh comes.
Who is Shiloh? Shiloh is Yahweh Shai Mashiach, whom the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. Read.
And unto him shall the garden of the people be.
And unto him shall the garden of the people be. And this is why you see the big awakening right now. And the garden of God's people. Go ahead now.
Bring it out now. To go exactly with that.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, and verse 6.
Bring it out.
Bring it out, please.
And somebody jump Isaiah 11:11. Quick, Isaiah 11:11. Go ahead, bring it out.
In his days, Judah shall be saved.
In this what? In his days, Salakia, what?
In his days, Judah shall be saved.
Who is the his? Yahweh Shai Mashiach, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Judah shall be saved. Go ahead.
And Israel shall dwell safely.
And Israel shall dwell safely. Go ahead.
And this is his name, whereby he shall be called
Go ahead.
the Lord our righteousness.
Right? Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, our righteousness. Go ahead.
Therefore, behold, the days come.
Wow.
Go ahead. What is that? You know about that?
Therefore, behold, the days come.
That scripture that make me leap for joy.
Therefore, behold, the days come. Go ahead.
Saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Say who?
Yahweh Ba'ashem
Go
Yahushai.
say it me.
Yahweh Ba'ashem
Go
Yahushai.
say it Cap.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, not me. Go ahead.
That they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, which brought up, which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country.
Out of the what country?
Out of the north country.
Which is North America. Because this Exodus that is coming, it is not going to be like the Exodus that was in the days of old, which was in the days of coming out of Egypt. This Exodus is going to be 100 times greater than that. Go ahead.
And from all countries which I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land.
And from all countries where he had driven us through slavery by the way of cargo slave ships. Go ahead.
And they shall dwell in their own land.
And they shall dwell in their own land. I said it? Alright, Isaiah 11:11.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11.
There. Now, let me see who they're talking to. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time.
The second time, because he already come the first time and gave the gospel. Right? Now he's going to come a second time. Go ahead.
The second time to recover the remnant of his people.
The remnant of his people, not the whole world. His people, Israel. Not the whole world. Yahweh Shai Mashiach, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. He is not coming back to save the East Indians. He is not coming back to save the Chinese, the Japanese, the stinking Africans that sold us into slavery, those stinking Arabs, and surely not the so-called stinking white man. Go ahead.
Which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt.
From Assyria, which is over around Iraq. Right, go ahead, and Egypt.
And from Patros.
Which is in Egypt. Go ahead.
And from Cush.
Which is in Ethiopia. A lot of our people still in Ethiopia. Because when we fled into Africa to hide among the stinking Africans, it was Ethiopia was the first place we was dwelling. Before we end up getting pushed through wars, through persecution, we end up getting pushed into Central and West Africa. That is why the transatlantic slave trade was consistent with the west coast of Africa. That's why they fool you so-called Negroes and make you feel that there's Africans. Because all they do not know their own history. Go ahead.
And from Elam,
which is India, East India, go ahead.
And from China.
And from China, which is in Iraq also, go ahead.
And from Hamad,
which is in Africa, go ahead.
And from the islands of the sea.
And from the where?
The islands of the sea.
And from the where?
The islands of the sea.
Somebody Deuteronomy 28:68. And then we will come back to that. Deuteronomy 28:68. So let me see if we're lying. And from the islands of the sea.
In the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
Well,
and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
The word Egypt is the Greek word for slavery, bondage. Right? Egyptos. Because that landmass where they call it Egypt, its true name, it's Mitzrayim or Matasarayim. Go ahead.
with ships.
Right? So which means the Lord saying, I'm going to take on Egypt and put slavery. Because, right? Read it again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into slavery again with ships.
Right? The Most High says he's going to bring you into slavery again with ships. Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Just as how we tell you, it go happen. And it did happen. Go ahead.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Which means he's never going to see a homeland Israel again. Go ahead.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
When you come off those slave ships, there's going to be sold unto your enemies. Go ahead.
For bondmen
For slave man,
and bondwoman.
slave woman. Go ahead.
And no man shall buy you.
And no man is going to redeem you out of the slavery. So read back over that 11:11 again. Because when you do a process of elimination, who it is that went into slavery by the way of cargo slave ships and was sold through the four corners of the earth on auction blocks? You all can't tell me it's Chinese man. All you can't tell me is the so-called white man. Because as far as I know, the Chinese man, he buy we. As far as I know, the Japanese man, they bought us. Right? The stinking Arabs and them, they bought us. Right? Because matter of fact, the Arabs was the one who built the slave ships, and those Amalekites who claiming to be Jews, who stole your identity, they are the ones that funded the slave ships.
That's right.
They are the ones that pelt out the money and give the Arabs, pay the Arabs to build the slave ships so that they could take us from up the west coast of Africa and transport us through the four corners of the earth.
Somebody give me Psalms 83, man.
Right? Go ahead.
Psalms 83 will tell it as it is.
Yeah, back with 11.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
The remnant of his people, because the Most High don't even want the whole of Israel. Because 2/3 in Israel just want to be pimps, thugs, whores, gangsters, murderers, wicked. Go ahead.
Which shall be left from Assyria,
Right, go ahead.
and from Egypt,
And from Egypt, go ahead.
and from Patros,
Which is in Africa, go ahead.
and from Cush,
Which is in Africa, which we know as Ethiopia. A lot of our people in Ethiopia, go ahead.
and from Elam,
Which is in East India, we know as the Sidis and the Punjabis. They are our people also. Go ahead.
and from Shinar,
Which is in Iraq, go ahead.
and from Hamad,
Which is in Africa, go ahead.
and from the islands of the sea.
And from the where?
The islands of the sea.
Come on, it's plain as day, boy. Who just get scattered and dropped in Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Dominica, Cuba, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, St. Kitts and Nevis. Well, Trinidad was a slave depot. Trinidad was a slave depot where they used to bring the slaves down here and have auctions.
And these niggas love Trinidad. They say they
Yeah, Trinity the bone.
They say they Trinidad, yes.
Trinity the bone.
They're like,
Plain as day, boy.
they're like Daniel telling them, telling the Lord, hey, we love Babylon, you know.
God, what is Psalms 83 there we can fall for?
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1.
Well,
Keep not thou silence, O God.
this is what our King David begging the Most High for. Keep not silent, O Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
Hold not thy peace,
Hold not thy what?
thy peace.
Yeah, but the Christian church, them begging for peace. You see something wrong with them and all to themselves by your word.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
Yeah, but the Christian church want the Most High to be still and come and everybody eat doubles and pay out and have a good time and shake a shack. Go ahead.
For lo, thy enemies make a tumult.
So you mean to say the Most High have enemies? Yes.
That's right,
The Most High have enemies. And we're going to go through the list of enemies that he have. Continue.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Yeah. So you mean to say the Most High have a group of people that hate him? Yes. Continue.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Yeah, they have taken crafty counsel. Like as I said earlier on the G8 summit, the EU summit, the G20. Just the other day, some years back, when I had down here about the summit of Americas, they take crafty counsel, how we is going to keep these niggers and spicks and whatnot from not knowing their heritage. Continue.
So now can you have a blessed heritage of it?
Well,
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
who is the hidden ones? Us. Because 2/3 of all of them have no all these Israelites. And a lot of them don't even care.
So no.
Go ahead.
But I'm going to say, but go and tell Amalek he's really the Israelite. Amalek hug you up a kiss here.
What?
And then put you in slavery.
And then put in slavery after. Go ahead.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Come and let us what?
Cut them off from being a nation.
Come. That crafty counsel is what? Come, let us put these niggers and spicks and Native Americans and Caribs and Arawaks into slavery and wipe the whole history, the whole heritage, the artifacts, the records, everything away from them so they wouldn't know who they is. Make them feel like there's Africans. Make them feel like there's Latinos. Make them feel like there's Hispanic. The word Hispanic simply means property of Spain. So when I Northern Kingdom who come from Venezuela or Uruguay or Argentina and come and tell me I'm Hispanic, so what you're trying to say? You belong to the Spanish, they belong to the so-called white man. They belong to the Spaniards. Because that's what the word means.
Hosea 4:6, that's what it is.
It's the word Hispanic derives from the word what? Property of Spain. I'm not telling you, Isaac Trinidadian. How the hell the word Trinidad come from? From stinking Christopher Columbus sailing along in the back by Maruga there and see Tree Hill and call it Trinidadian. And you dumb, yeah, and some of you dumb Negroes, right? Your nationality, your nationality come from Tree Hills. Your Tree Hills is your father. That is really the mentality of these people, boy.
Like the scripture says, Satan has stopped us.
Yeah. Go ahead,
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Yeah, that the name of Israel, Yasharala, may be no more in remembrance. Go ahead.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They all come together with one consent. Go ahead.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate, which means what? A league. Go ahead.
The tabernacles of Edom.
Right? Now we're going to find out who consulted, who heard the song, who heard the Most High, right? And who was the leaders in this well-orchestrated plan? The tabernacles of who?
Of Edom.
Which is the so-called white man, the first on the list. The so-called white man. Go ahead.
And the Ishmaelites.
Number 2. There must be 2 main enemies. Them stinking Ishmaelites, them stinking Arabs. Go ahead.
And the Ishmaelites of Moab.
What? We know we're again properly.
Ishmaelites of Moab.
No.
And the Ishmaelites just come and get all of the food and things. Yeah?
Ishmaelite now? Yeah. I want to know. Yeah, go ahead.
Of Moab and the Hagrims.
Right? And the Ishmaelites and of Moab, right? Which is those stinking Chinese, right? No Hakwan. Right? Them dog eaters on them. Eating dog and frog and cat and snake and all kind of nastiness. Yeah, even their own baby and all they eating. Right? Of Moab, go ahead. Gibal, which is those stinking Africans, go ahead.
And Ammon.
That's not it. You think Moab and the Hagarenes?
Yeah.
The Hagarenes is those East Indians. Right, the Hagarenes. All of them.
I know that word Hagarine.
Yeah, these Hagarines and them. It's the East Indians. Go ahead and keep all you to the Africans.
Yeah, the boy, yeah, the one German boy do not have these Hagarines around.
Come on, go ahead.
And Ammon.
And Ammon, which is the stinking Japanese. Go ahead.
And Amalek.
Which is those fake Jews. Right? The chief tribe of Esau Edom. The so-called white man. Go ahead.
The Philistines with the inhabitants of
Tyre. Yeah, which is those Africans. Right? Because what those Africans do, they was the one that make sure and wrong us up. Because the white man and them, you could not tell the difference because we look like the Africans, but we are not. They are the ones that know the difference between us and them. Right, go ahead. Go ahead. And the Philistines, you call the Philistines. Right, go ahead. Right, Asher, right, go ahead.
Asher also joined with them.
Which is those Assyrians. Right, go ahead.
They have whole pen. They have
whole pen, which is help. The children of Lot, with the children of Lot. Those incest babies. Which is those Japanese don't say those incest babies.
When they say they help the children of Lot, they think it's the Ammonites and the Moabites.
Yeah. So you all have to wake up, boy.
I have something to read before we
How much more time we had in?
15 minutes.
Huh?
15 minutes.
15 minutes, well, really had to read now.
Let me read this and
Yeah. Read and then Tim open us up to the two scriptures.
in fact, somebody read it. Somebody give me Baruch chapter 5, start at verse 1. Baruch chapter 5, verse 1. But this is what the Lord is saying here.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 5, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Put off, O Jerusalem, the garment of mourning.
So the Lord telling me, say right now, this whole thing coming to a climax, a close. So he said, what you're going to do, you're going to put off the garment of mourning, read.
And affliction.
And affliction. In other words, there's a scripture that says, your punishment is accomplished, O daughter of Israel, right? Of Zion, right? Roughly paraphrasing, go ahead.
And put on the comeliness of the glory that cometh from God forever.
So it is the kingdom of heaven. Can? So I'm appealing to brothers out here right now. It's so happened in the spirit, we say we want to bank, not only on a Monday but on a Saturday. So those of you brothers who really check for your 1 penny, which represent the kingdom of heaven, put your best foot forward and come on. Can? Read.
Cast about thee a double garment of the righteousness,
Which is what a double portion. Go ahead, right? A double portion, go ahead.
which cometh from God.
Which cometh from the Most High. This is what we ask the Most High for. The same double portion that he gave that Elisha asked Elijah for. Right? And he had gotten it. It's the same thing we asking for, a double portion. You know? Not only being equipped within the scriptures, but also having a portion within history.
And brotherly kindness.
Yeah, and brotherly kindness.